good while we're doing this? I think it is. Let us know if you can hear us and whatnot. Everyone, of course, knows me, Josh. This is Clint and young Kaden. Oh, we need to turn the volume down on here.
A little bit of delay going on.
There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, we got your comments down here. We have like 3 devices. 1, 2, and 3. So hopefully this will all work. So I thought it'd be cool since Clint and Kaden are now working in the shop. Clint and Kaden, of course, are relation. Kaden is his son, and Clint is my friend from being friends with my in-laws. So
right.
basically,
Yes,
that's how we know each other.
That's right, yeah.
And Dakota's not here, but he's also using the shop nowadays. But anyway, I asked on Patreon for people to send in some questions that they would like answered, and that's what we're going to do here tonight. As long as everyone thinks like you can hear us and all that jazz. I'm like trying to read those comments,
yeah,
but I may as well just read these ones right here. Things might get be a little bit okay. We can hear. Okay, they can hear. Good. So we might have to talk a little loud, but yeah, we'll see. All right. So we're just gonna answer the questions that we got on Patreon first, and then we're gonna answer the questions that are here in the feed. So if we don't get to your question or we skip it or whatever, just ask it again once we start reading the comments. What are you trying to do?
Trying to zoom into the letters. It's not working.
It's okay. All right. So the first question from Patreon came from Tracy, and she asked, "Any more shop upgrades planned for the near future, or are you happy to go with what you got now? Also, did we ever find out what Clint was making from the yellow submarine looking item?" And then another. Well, okay, we'll answer those questions first. So, any more shop upgrades planned for the near future?
I think we're always going to, aren't we?
Yeah, the future is always near because it's always coming.
There's always more tools we can fit in. We'd love to have like maybe a CNC or a plasma cutter. We both have big dreams for the shop, so
yeah,
well, it'll keep evolving, I'm sure.
Yeah.
As far as the yellow submarine thing, it actually is just an old dive tank that I've had that was a buddy of mine's from when I was quite young. It's from the 60s. And I'm making a steampunk kind of a submarine out of it. It's actually not going to be yellow.
It just happens to be yellow.
It just happens to be yellow right now. It's very early stages. Making metal art stuff is certainly more art. Josh's forte, not really mine, but we'll see how it turns out.
He never had a welder in his old shop, so now he does.
It'll be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, almost everyone guessed submarine, but they put yellow,
It's yellow.
Which is yellow, but it's not going to be yellow in the end.
It almost needs to be a cheesy Beatles yellow submarine just cause now. I don't know. We'll
so
see.
you guys can follow Clint on Instagram at what is it?
It's under CK Carlton Co.
Yeah.
Or just Clinton Corey.
Oh yeah, you got 2, right?
Yeah, which I've kind of amalgamated everything now, so it's mostly just all on CK Carlton now.
Yeah, right now he's doing, well, if you follow my vlog or if you're in my Patreon, then you've seen the brewery that he's working on. So we're going to be doing another video on that once it's done.
If you're looking for videos of mine, there are a little bit under CK Carlton.
On YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube, but I don't do a lot of video. I may get back to it again, I'm sure, but at this point I don't do a ton of it.
Okay, and then Tracy also asked, do you play guitars or just build them?
I do play. I've played since I was 15. Mostly I play bass and I play a little bit of acoustic guitar.
Okay. And you build any type of guitar, any type of bass?
Yeah, I kind of lean towards stuff that's a little bit out of the box. I guess like short scale basses that are piccolo, which are a higher scale or higher toned bass. It's sort of the world in between bass and guitar.
Okay.
Kind of. That's what I like building.
I don't know how to play any instruments, so I don't know what any of that means really. Okay, next question is from Delphina. I guess this is a question for me. With other people there now, are you going to put a door on my bathroom? So a lot of you know that there's no doors in my house. There's plenty of trees though, so they don't actually need to come in my house. And right now during COVID, there's no visitors in the house, so we're just in the shop basically.
We might do an outhouse in the summertime, maybe. Hey.
We actually had thought about doing an outhouse. Ashley wants an outhouse because she thinks it looks cute. So we'll see how that goes.
And we don't want to have to go in the house and intrude in Josh and Ashley's personal home either. So.
Okay, here's another question from her. She asks, does Clint sell those Mandalorian guns? So that gun was actually made by Kaden, and you just make those for yourself, eh?
I'm sure you.
Or
would
would you? He could sell them, he says.
Anything's for sale.
Anything's for sale if you have enough money.
Yeah.
So he's made that one there. Okay. I think that's all the questions from her there. The next question here is from Martha. Does Clint have more kids?
I have 5 children. My oldest son is 33, then another one that's 30, and then we jumped down. After my 2 older boys moved out, my wife and I thought we'd be bored, and we had 3 more children. So we have our daughter Farah is 14, Kate's 12, and then we have our daughter Allie who is 8.
So 5 kids. All right.
And 2 cats, Arthur and Tommy.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen them.
The Peaky Fluffers.
Okay. She also asked, how and when did you become a luthier?
How and when? About 1996. I think as soon as I picked up a guitar when I was 15, I had just a desire to want to know how they were made. And my dad also is a luthier. He builds acoustic guitars mostly.
Right. He was on your channel.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
He came to my shop last year or 2 years ago, showed me how to build acoustics. But yeah, we both got into lutherie the same year in 2 different cities without actually telling each other.
So like independently of each other.
Yeah, we just both had this desire, and he always jokes it was like something our family was just meant to do. So
that's cool.
He's been kind of mucking around with fixing and customizing guitars since the 60s.
So if you guys watch vlog number 100, you will have seen some of Clint's projects that he's working on. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Kind of prototypes on the wall. That's a lot of what those are.
Okay, 8 prototypes, and then a 9th guitar that your dad pulled out of a dumpster that you're going to customize.
Customize, yeah. Yeah, and in case you guys will probably ask anyways, why do I have so many unfinished guitars? Electronics and parts are super expensive. Like, could be upwards of $800 to $1,000 per guitar for me to finish it.
Holy crap!
So that's why I have a whole bunch of carcasses on the wall. And as I start building other projects, make a bit more money, then I'll start finishing some of those guitars up.
Okay. Kathy asks, what's Clint's favorite thing to make? Is it guitars? I mean, you make a lot of guitars.
Man, I make a lot of things.
But you also make like, yeah, you make a lot of things.
I could build concrete ashtrays, like cigar ashtrays. What's my favorite thing to build?
Humidors, cutting boards.
Honestly, my favorite thing
Everything.
lately is I love doing like bars and wainscoting, like I'm doing at the brewery. I love doing that stuff, like fine carpentry stuff. You know?
Okay. So you guys are gonna have to just watch the next vlog, not the next vlog, but a upcoming vlog here where I'll go back into the brewery, and then you guys will see like everything finished. I was in there, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 vlogs back doing some taping, and then since then it's progressed. But if you follow Clint's Instagram, you've teased a bit about the brewery so far.
Yeah, and then there'll be a little bit of I'll do a good video walkthrough of the whole thing when it's all done.
Okay.
And plus Ernie's cigar room that Josh and I worked on together in the summertime. Sometime I'm going to get Josh to help me finish editing the video, start to finish of that whole project. For those of you that might be interested. So
yeah, that is a nice room.
that's pretty fun. Though.
Yeah. Okay. Sherry asks, will you all share equipment, and or are there rules for the shared space? And how is Hank doing with the new traffic outside? Hank is used to them, but he will always bark at everyone who comes. But once he knows it's Clint and Kaden, he's just like, oh, I was barking for no reason. But as for the tools and stuff and the space, just because Clint has like an area kind of in one area and Kaden has an area, I don't really have a designated area, neither does Dakota. It's kind of just an
open.
It's like a co-op.
Yeah, kind of co-op. I mean, I definitely have my desk set up, or my backdrop from my
It's right there. That's why we're like.
Yeah, I'm just pointing. Yeah, it's on the other side of the wall here. Yeah, pretty much everything in the shop is just up for grabs for people to use. For me personally, I just like to make sure that my own stuff gets put back, and so does Josh, so that we all can find it when we want to use it again.
Right. But anyone can use anything, except for maybe certain raw materials that might cost a lot.
Correct.
Like he uses a lot of exotic woods, which are not cheap.
Yeah.
At least not usually.
Right.
Most exotic woods are like, why are they this much?
Yeah.
Right. There will be like $9 a foot or more.
Oh no, a lot of my stuff is $30, $40 a linear foot.
Right. See, I don't even know what I'm talking about.
You
like
get into like rosewoods and.
Oh, rosewood. The most expensive wood I bought was
Cocobolo.
$18 a foot, and that was purple heart.
Okay. Yeah, Cocobolo and rosewoods and stuff are quite a bit more expensive.
Cocobolo, yeah.
Because a lot of them are got CITES on them, like restrictions. You can't sell them out of country or whatever, right?
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, and then some woods are extinct, so they're even more money.
Right.
Like I'm lucky enough to have some chestnut, which is awesome.
Is that got CITES on it?
It's just extinct.
It's just extinct. Like
Yeah.
you can't.
cut it down, so you can only cut it down for safety reasons.
Oh, okay. Great.
Yeah. Or in cities. You can cut it down in cities. Like for like inside.
Chestnut tree.
Yeah. So chestnut trees, they died out from someone knows. I forget.
Some bug or something probably.
Some what's the some bug. Anyway, I got some that was reclaimed out of a old something. I don't even remember where it came from, but I have 3 pieces.
Cool.
And it's worth a lot. Next question here is from Janice. Will there be any collaboration/joint projects?
We think so.
Definitely, probably.
Yeah.
Well, we're doing more contract work together,
Right.
which is not the same, but kind of.
Kind of, but I definitely had mentioned to Josh before that I'd like to see us do some collective projects where, we just use all of our different skills and, like even when, I don't know if you guys have met Steve yet, Steve?
He's been in a video, but he's been in one video briefly.
Steve has done all electrical for me. He's an electrician, obviously. On Ernie's room, the brewery, he's done a bunch of stuff here for the shop. And he also is a wood turner, and will probably be coming up here to do some stuff.
Yeah, I even asked him if he wants to store his lathe here. Because we don't have a lathe, but we have a spot for a lathe.
Yes.
We intentionally built out a spot for a lathe, but we don't have one yet.
One will show up. Interesting thing with both Josh and I is most of the tools we have in our shop, neither one of us have actually ever paid for.
Yeah.
They just seem to show up. My entire shop from where I just moved, all the tools in my shop were given to me, including my pin router that I have around the corner here that is, like super, super expensive, and I had a friend just buy it for me.
Dude, it was 12 grand.
Yeah.
What? Who does that?
Who does that? Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So, the only tools that I've bought recently are just little hand tools and stuff like that. But even that, I've been very lucky.
Yeah.
which is kind of awesome. But yeah, so to answer the question, yes, there will probably be some collaborations, and probably with Kaden too, because he likes to do cosplay type builds and other stuff as well.
Yeah.
And I have this idea to build a couple swords out of some scrap hardwood and stuff, and he just made one, so that's kind of cool. Okay, this one here, this is from Jan. What led to the decision for Clint to move from his shop into here, and how will that affect our work? And then she asked, will there be collabs, solo, features of both of us, etc. So we kind of already answered some of that question, but what made you decide to move here? Besides me like constantly being like, hey, why don't you move into my shop?
Here, yeah. Yeah, mostly leaks in the shop was the biggest thing, and my shop kind of it's on my friend Drew and Julia's farm. It's a sheep farm.
That's where we might get our sheep from, by the way.
So they have a lot of mice, muskrats. Man, I've had every kind of critter crawl into the shop, including muskrats that are like this big into my shop. Snakes.
Luckily, we don't have rats in Alberta.
Yes,
that would be disgusting.
But muskrats are not a nice looking critter either.
It looks like a rat, kind of.
Kind of, yeah, big fat mouse on steroids.
Yeah.
So yeah, the shop was leaking all over the place. My tools were starting to get damaged. The shop is like, often in the wintertime I'd come into the shop thinking, well, I wonder if the shop fell down today. That's when it would snow, right? Because it's
a lot of the joists or ribs or whatever you call them in a concept, they were rotted.
Just rotted right out. Like they're literally styrofoam holding the building together.
Yeah, so it's styrofoam insulated and like that is what's holding.
And then last year we had a lot of rain, and they have a high water table there. Yeah, so the water started coming up through the floor, and so as you can imagine, building anything out of wood, but especially guitars, I had like 100% humidity in the shop.
Yeah, so twisting
necks. A lot of my woods got warped. I had a couple of acoustic guitars that got just destroyed because they warped so bad.
Yeah, and then when they dry out, there's lots of checking in the wood after because they dry out too quickly.
They twist bad. So
yeah, not good.
So it was time to kind of look for a shop, and Josh offered, said he was fixing his shop up, and we thought, hey, let's try it out.
Yeah. I really thought he wasn't going to.
Did you?
Yeah, I asked you back when we did that farmer place.
Oh, the Farmer's Day thing.
No, the seed. Remember that seed selling place?
Oh, yeah. My buddy Joe's
whatever
grain trading place.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did taping there for me.
So when we did that, I was like, hey. No, what I said is like, hey, if you don't have a spot to put your table saw, because my table saw got screwed up.
Yeah.
So how I released vlog number 100 before I was releasing other videos, and the video before that was of me building my friend's table, and that was actually featured in a vlog before. But anyway, I used your table saw when it was still in your shop in that video. Mm-hmm. And you know what's funny? In that vlog that video is from, I let Lloyd out by accident.
I remember that.
And then that was in the vlog. And then the bonus clip for vlog number 100, I let Lloyd out again. Lloyd is Drew's dog.
He's a bit of a con artist.
Yeah, like you, escape artist.
Escape artist. There we go. I knew that was wrong.
You can be careful to not let him out, but like you have to drive, so you have to get back in your vehicle, and no matter how quick you are, he's just like, all right, see ya, and then he's just down the road.
Anybody knew, he just busts out every time.
Yeah. So, but he's friendly, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next question is from Donnell. Brothers and sisters. Do we have brothers and sisters? I have 5 brothers and 1 sister. My brother Dave, Mike, Ken, Will. Then there's me, and Dakota, and then my sister Janice. What about you?
Youngest of 8 for me. 2 were passed away before I was born.
Oh.
and then I have a stepbrother thrown in the mix too. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then they ask, "Are you going to collaborate?"
Yes.
Yes. Bootjack Clayshack asks, "Is there a rough time for the Q&A, morning or night?" We're doing it right now. Michelle asks, "Oh, that's funny. I should have screened these questions first. They asked if I could add the L to their name that's on the door. So if you're a patron, I add your name to the door, and I must have spelled her name wrong. So yes, I will do that." Barbara asks, this is another repeat, "Will you be doing any projects together?" Yes. We'll do shop projects, and we'll probably do more construction type contracting together as well.
Yeah.
Depending on what the job is. And then here's a question unrelated to us. Tracy, a different Tracy, is asking, "Would Chakota in the shop, will just Josh and would Chakota be coming back sooner rather than later?" Probably not, because that's in the house, and we don't really want to do it in here because we just want it to be recognizable. But you can always check out his show, Madness Mondays, on his channel, and I do lives every once in a while as well. Maybe Clint and I will do this every so often too. Who knows? If you guys like it, then give us a thumbs up, and then yeah, leave in the comments if you would like us to do this more often, semi-regularly or whatever. However, Andrea asks, she says, "Just a silly question from me. What's your favorite 80s movie?"
Whose?
I guess I don't have one, because what's the 80s?
What's the 80s?
Dude, that was not even a thought in the 80s. She says she's just watching Stand By Me while checking emails. Stand By Me is a pretty good movie, but that's not my favorite.
I don't know.
TV shows are fresh.
Oh, that's true.
That's
That's
90s.
80s.
Is it?
Fresh Prince is 90s for sure.
Oh, okay.
But that's a good show. Kaden's favorite show from the 90s, Fresh Prince. That's good.
80s. Mine probably would have been any old Western.
You know what? The Westerns are
Grew up
freaking good.
loving
Maybe
spaghetti
Back to the
Westerns
Future.
and... Oh yeah, Back to the
Oh,
Future
yeah.
was good. Yeah, it was a good
That's
80s
probably
show.
a good movie. I haven't seen it, but
Yeah.
no, I've never seen it.
See,
What?
Back to the Future?
This is Back to the Future.
That's everyone's reaction. I've never seen it. 80s movie. I wish I knew. I wish I could think of one. When was the Princess Bride? When did that come out? Was that
It's
90s?
like 2000. Actually, I think.
Was it? No, that might have been 80s. That's a great show.
That's one of the best movies ever made.
Yeah.
What?
Love it.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I don't know. Van Damme movies I liked when I saw them on TV as like you know.
Yeah. Rocky.
Rocky's a good movie.
That's good stuff.
Rambo.
Rambo, yeah, that was good.
I like action movies. Terminator.
Terminator. Was that 80s though?
Or was that 90s? The first Terminator may have been. I don't know, guys.
It's hard to say.
I like action movies.
Mhm.
When was Die Hard? When did that come
Well,
out?
that's the one I was thinking. Die Hard. That was 80s.
Okay, Die Hard.
Bruce Willis.
I like Die Hard. I like all of them.
Yeah.
Some people only like the first one. I like all of them, all the way up to the ones where you're like, what? How come his son is a bad guy now?
Any old cheesy Arnie movies, of course, right?
Yeah, I like Arnold.
Yeah.
I don't like Kindergarten Cop though.
No, not as much. No, I like his cheesy action stuff more.
Okay, so this one is from What If NC. She asks, "What is currently inspiring you artistically?" What about you?
Me? What's inspiring me artistically? Man, that's tough. I think, you know, we're learning new stuff like almost every day. Being on the job, like doing different kinds of jobs, then in the shop, then being around Josh, I pick up other things. So there's inspiration from all different directions. I don't know if I could actually answer that. That's a tough one.
Wait.
YouTube.
YouTube?
YouTube.
Oh, you too.
And YouTube.
YouTube and YouTube. Okay.
I get a lot of stuff off of Pinterest. It's quite inspiring.
You know what's weird is I've been getting a lot of notifications from Pinterest and I never go on it.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know what that's
I love
about.
Pinterest.
Pinterest, yeah, that's good for inspiration.
stuff, yeah.
It's good to be like, huh, that's the same as everything else. I'm going to do something better.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is.
No, there's a lot of nice
You get some-
stuff. Like, people are very creative. As for me, what is currently inspiring me artistically? I don't know, because my inspiration is like kind of two different directions. It can be like if I see something, like for example, you can't see, it's just off camera. There's a, what are those called? A surveyor's thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's an old tripod, and I'm the inspiration is to turn that into a lamp. So
It looks like
it looks bitchin'.
a 150-year-old piece of oak. I mean, it's super cool.
Yeah, it's from there, actually,
The box.
that box.
And also movies.
I know it says in here. This was made in Japan.
Oh, where's the thinger?
I gave it back.
Oh, you get it back. Okay.
Yeah, he wanted it. 1960 something. So it's not
Oh, from the
100 years
60s.
old.
Okay.
It's only however old
It
that
looks
is.
pretty weathered. I mean, obviously it's been outside.
Yeah,
so-
it's been outside. Yeah, it's awesome. This is the box that goes with it. So just imagine the same type of whatever. But I like those finger joints.
Yeah,
So that's a
cool.
type of inspiration.
Is there finger joints on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. I like finger joints. That's inspiring. I don't
have
know.
a jig so we can learn how to do some finger jointing. I haven't actually done any woodwork.
Never?
No, I mean the funny thing with my woodworking is I learned how to build guitars on my own, but never really did a lot of other kind of traditional woodworking like building, a box or
Everyone builds a box. though.
right. No, but I just haven't really done.
You're
much
like,
of that kind of
my
stuff,
first
right?
woodworking project was building a
I
guitar.
built a guitar. It seemed more fun.
Everyone's first is usually like an Apple box or something stupid.
Mine is.
Yeah, I started right off with like 6-string bass guitars.
What was it? Your first thing was a sword?
Probably.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know how to answer that question necessarily either. I think
Also
it's
movies.
movies.
Inspiration from
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Okay. Here's a question. I know the answer to this, and it's very disappointing. Does Clint like banana bread?
I do not. My wife makes really good banana bread, and I actually bring it to Josh because I'm banana breaded out.
I don't know how that's possible. Banana bread is the best bread.
I like banana bread. It's not as good as lemon.
We don't mind it when my wife's name is Karen, in case that question does come up. When it's fresh out of the oven.
That's when it's the worst.
Oh no, that's the only time I'll eat it.
Dude, it's gotta be just room temperature or cold with butter.
No, hot, smear it with some butter.
If it has chocolate chips, even better.
Yeah,
You don't care for chocolate chips?
I don't like sweets a lot.
I like it.
Well, chocolate chips are not very sweet. They're kind of they are sweet, but they're not like candy.
No, a little too sweet for me.
Well, banana bread to me, delicious. Especially if you throw an extra banana in there. Oh,
So
so
mushy. It's like mushy bread.
dude, it's gotta be mushy. And then she also asked, "Do you eat bananas correctly?" And what she means, I think, is how do you peel a banana? Do you peel it from the stem part or from the butt part?
Well, the stem, the part that attaches to the tree.
That's where you peel it from?
That's where I peel it from.
Yeah, me too.
I usually cut it and then crack her down.
You cut it?
I usually cut it first, so you don't squish the top of the banana.
Like with a knife?
Yeah, I'll cut it with a knife. if
Dude,
I
you're
can,
gonna
or bite
squish it immediately as soon as you start chewing it. What does
That's
it matter?
true. I don't know.
That's hilarious.
I can eat a lot of bananas. I don't dislike them, but I just don't eat much bananas.
Dude, bananas are delicious. Okay, Tracy. This is Tracy asked another question here. Okay. Is this permanent? Oh wait, did she just ask the same question twice? Hold on. I made the post twice on Patreon. Let me just see here. Oh no, someone else asked this question. Okay, we'll answer it again.
Sure.
She says, "Is this permanent?" Which I don't think we've answered that. So is our shop situation permanent? It's semi-permanent.
Yeah, we're just gonna see where it goes.
Yeah, see
right?
where it
Like,
goes.
I have no plans to move my shop elsewhere. The only reason I would move from Josh's shop is we have a dream to maybe buy an acreage of our own and build a shop, so I can have my shop at home.
And then I'll be moving there.
And then, yeah, until Josh builds his shop, right? So
Oh, that might happen.
that might happen,
Because
right?
this
That might
this
happen.
whole building is temporary, but we need a spot to work,
Yeah.
and I can't afford to build the shop that I want to replace this one with. So may as well use it to pay for the new shop.
Sure.
Like this, you guys can't see, but there is mad frost heaving here. Actually, where Clint is sitting,
It's huge crack.
there's huge cracks, and there's a difference in floor between the cracks, like at least 1.5 inches there.
Yeah.
And there's big craters, and yeah, so that's a thing that's cost a lot. Luckily, Clint does concrete, so probably get some good deals. I don't
Sure, we
know.
can do something. Yeah.
And when it comes to let's see, permanent is like a weird suggestion, but depending on how things go, like what if?
I think we're pretty open to seeing where things evolve.
Yeah.
We're not in a partnership as far as our business is, but at the same time, I think we're both pretty open to just seeing where things go. If something just happens and it takes us down on a little rabbit trail and it
Yeah.
involves both of us or everybody in the shop, we'll see how that goes. We'll just
Yeah.
go with it.
There's other plans, semi in motion, that we will talk about later or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Wait till they are a little more concrete.
Mhm.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
uh,
So I was a concrete finisher for 35 years prior to all of this. So now I do more carpentry, construction management, and shop stuff now. So
less concrete.
less concrete. Hardly any the last couple of years now.
Okay. Then this person asks, where does Clint live? Near you or what?
10 minutes from Josh.
10 minutes. Closer to this shop than your old shop.
Spruce Grove, yeah. In this
Yeah.
in town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a Mrs. Clint?
There is a Mrs. Clint. Karen is her name.
And what projects are you working on now?
I have a couple instruments that were sort of kind of trades for some other stuff. So once I kind of get back into the shop here, once I'm done the brewery, I have 2 bass guitars that I have to jump on pretty fast.
Okay. So some bass guitars. Okay, and then she says, hold on. Can't see what you do together. I'm sure you both have lots of ideas. Seems like a win-win arrangement for you both. I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle asked, many artists make for a really cool space. Congrats. I like the idea of a collab. Would that be something for the future? Yes. I feel like that's a very common question in this.
Mm-hmm.
In these questions. How long have you been a luthier? Which I think we asked. You answered that.
1996.
And then what got you into the craft? Which was you wanted to.
Yeah. Self-taught, didn't take any courses, no prior woodworking experience.
Okay, Bootjack Clay Shack asked another question for Kaden. She says, will Kaden pursue a professional shop golf career?
Go.
Maybe.
So the other day they were here, he got it 10 more times in one day.
I have 15.
So he has 11 more times. So 11 times in one day.
I think we'll see some golfing in his future with his mom.
Oh,
Karen,
really?
Karen likes golfing, so I'm sure Kaden and Karen will
Do
probably.
you have a set of clubs? I got a set of clubs for you.
There you go.
Sweet, and a bag. Okay. Colleen asks, what are the challenges and benefits of having someone else working in your space? The challenges,
Waiting for tools sometimes,
yeah, okay.
which is bizarre because we have a lot of multiples of the same tools.
Yeah, one thing would be the power Some of these tools, like the pin router, you can only use the pin router and nothing else when that's being used because it draws so much power.
Yeah.
So we are upgrading the power this summer, which is something that we were going to do anyway. As long as everything works out, you know, things change. Like last year we were going to do a bunch of things and instead we got the driveway done and we started doing other things and we ran into some issues, blah, blah, blah. So things may change, but one of the big plans for the summer is to run big power out to here so that we don't have any lagging, no flipping breakers and all that kind of stuff. We don't want anything to impede a workflow.
Yeah.
So that would be the downfall, but like as for having someone coming over and using the shop, I don't care. Like when I even had my little shop at my in-laws, when we rented a suite from them, I loved it when people came over to my shop because it was fun.
I used to enjoy that in my shop too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually planning on opening the shop up to a number of other friends and makers and just people that we know that anytime they want to come up and use the shop, just feel free to do so.
Yeah, so we want it to be like a chill space too.
Yeah.
Like, so if they want to come, whatever. I mean, I don't know if it's obvious, but the aesthetic we're going for is like hangout
Yeah.
spot, right? That has tools. So work, and then when you're done, hang out. I mean, we just have lawn chairs right now, but we are gonna have we're gonna have a couch in here at some point.
At some point,
And
yeah.
we want to have events and stuff as long
Yeah.
as things work out, and that will obviously be post COVID. So we haven't had a lot of people out to the shop. Well, we've had no one out to the shop right now except
Because
for
of COVID stuff, yeah.
people who have been actually doing infrastructure stuff. That's it. But
Cinch.
but the plan is to have like if someone needs to use the shop, be like, yeah, we got that. You
Yeah.
can use ours. Hannah asks, will the shop have an official name? It will, but we don't know what it
I
is.
don't know what that is.
We've been
We're still-
spitballing a couple ideas, and we might combine some ideas. We might think of something. I don't know. We have a poster right behind this wall that is going to have all of our
logos.
our logos, and it'll above it will have like the umbrella name for the shop, sort of thing. Right now it's just blank. Vlog number 100 kind of goes into there just a little bit. You can see what it looks like there if you want. Okay, then she also asked, have you ever, because we're doing possible collaboration pieces, have you considered setting up a website and online shop to sell your art? So we are thinking about doing shop projects or things sold from the shop. So if we called the shop, whatever, let's just say the name is called The Shop. We're going to have The Shop branded stuff. But we're not sure what exactly everything will be.
There'll probably be some
Mustaches.
simple things.
Just things that are kind of like support merch.
Yeah, and stuff that we can just put that money back into the shop to pay for sandpaper and reusable things that we use in the shop, or
because a lot of
whatever.
consumables are like
consumables.
they're quite expensive to have. Like, I mean, I wouldn't be hurt by it, and I'm sure you wouldn't be either. But some people are quite sensitive when you use up all of the X, whatever it is,
Right,
and then
yeah.
you don't replace it. And
Yeah.
you're like, well, I bought it last, whatever. So we're gonna have like a fund, if you will.
Yeah.
So things
The shop
that we make from the shop. How do you say that? From the shop, for the shop,
Yeah.
whatever. That will be designated as best as we can manage to pay for things in the shop. So like we have like these mustaches, which I had in my old shop, and then you made one.
Yeah, as soon as I seen it, I had to make one, and so. That's,
So we'll be making a couple sizes of mustaches that will have our shop name on it if you want. I don't know if that will be a big seller, but
the mustache has kind of become pretty much part of my logo now.
it's cool.
Yeah.
And then there's some other things, maybe mallets, maybe who knows, things that you'll see. I don't know. As for setting up a website, we probably won't have a website, but we'll probably have like an Instagram or something.
Mhm.
But
I do well on the Instagram for the most part, selling some of the stuff that I put up.
I don't know if we'll set up a shop Instagram because like I don't know if it'd be worth it because like
Yeah.
we'll probably just do our individual Instagrams, and then if you buy something, you buy something, and then we'll probably just designate certain items as that, and then make our own stuff.
Yeah.
What I don't know how to
I
explain
don't know how
it.
often we'll end up doing that. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. Cause like,
something needs to be bought in the shop. We'll just all.
yeah, maybe we'll just do like a fundraiser, like a big
Sure.
sale, but instead
There you
of
go.
cookies, it'll be like mustaches and mallets.
There you go. Mustaches and nuts. That's a good ring.
Okay, so
That's funny.
here's the question for all of us: what is your favorite or most memorable art project you have made?
Wow.
Too
Art.
many.
Too many, yeah. I mean, some of my favorite instruments I build. I have a big 10-string bass and guitar all in one that I built at home that I built back in, oddly, it was 10/10, so 10th month of 2010, and it's 10-string.
Oh, okay.
Built two 10-strings, actually, one for a friend of mine. And that's probably one of my favorite projects. And then 2 years ago, I built one. If you guys follow on my Instagram, I call it the patchwork base, and I took a lot of all my little pieces that I had left over, and I made like a patchwork.
Yeah, it looks like plaid kind of.
Quilt kind of a top out of different woods, and that's
It
definitely
looks
one of
awesome.
my favorites. So
Where
I
is-
just sold
where-
that one.
Oh, you sold it.
Yeah,
Okay.
just recently.
Okay, so that is probably on your Instagram, but you
Yeah.
can also see it in my first visit to your shop, which that vlog is called, I think it's called Running of the Sheep actually, because
Oh, Running of the Lambs.
or Running of the Lamb
yeah.
or something.
That's right.
I can't remember what it's called.
That's when you first came to my shop.
Yes.
Yeah. Drew and Julie would put on a thing called, there's a weird, for those that aren't into lambs, the lambs will all run together at a certain time of day and run up and down the hill, and nobody knows why they do it. It's a lamb thing.
Wait, is that like
It's actually a thing.
that's a lamb thing?
It's actually a lamb thing, and they call it the running of the lambs. Yeah.
Huh.
Now I don't know if much of that happened when you were there though.
No, when I was there, no, I was late.
No lamb.
I saw the Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the
Stupid joke. What about you? What's your most memorable art project? Favorite or most memorable? Okay, he just made a sword, and then if you guys are into Marvel, right? So if you know who Buck,
Avengers.
Okay, well whatever. I don't know. I didn't.
Marvel.
Okay, the one guy in there, Bucky, has a metal arm, and he made like a cosplay
Version of that.
version
Pretty
of
cool.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bucky arm and the sword. You can see the sword in vlog number 100. Okay, Chanel asks, I would like to know all of the types of art and things you both create. What do you like the most that Clint makes, and what does he like the most about what you make? Okay, so all the types of things that you make. Guitars, obviously.
Guitars, concrete products. So like I've started in the last couple of years doing cigar ashtrays out of comboing wood and concrete. I don't know. I look at a lot of the stuff I do on the job site as artwork because I do a lot of
It's more artistic, for
yeah,
sure.
for sure, right?
It's
a
not
lot
like
of,
run of the mill. Well, most of them aren't run of the mill.
a lot of wainscoting, a lot of like fancy mantles and bars and stuff like that. So
Yeah, wait till you guys see
I
the
like that kind of stuff.
one that he made, the fireplace thing. It's freaking cool.
And Josh's stuff, I mean, I don't know, I haven't seen anything you've made that I haven't liked. I mean, your metal work is sick. And finger, it's still just, it's so bizarre to me that you can paint what you paint with your fingers. It's pretty cool.
Okay, what about you? What's your, what was the question here? Hold on a second, I know what it is. What are all the types of art that you make? Stuff.
Can't say stuff.
Cosplay stuff, for sure. Swords, guns. Oh yeah, guns. The Mandalorian guy's gun.
We've made some armor together before. We made a super cool samurai helmet with a mask and a mustache.
Oh,
And
yeah,
we actually
I saw
made it
that.
out of an old kid's fireman helmet. with a piece of crazy carpet on the back that was red, and we flared it all out. It was super cool.
All right.
And made some samurai swords together.
Okay. Interesting. And what do you like most about what your dad makes? Don't know. You like the ashtrays? You don't even smoke. It's just you like the combination of materials. Okay, for me, well, I make a mustache. Do you like the mustaches? Okay, that's cool. For me, the different things that I make are anything. I will make anything that I think is cool. So my favorite thing to do is to paint, which I haven't done too much of, but now that this shop is done, I will be doing more for sure. So painting, some woodworking, although I would not be considered a woodworker, especially to a snobby woodworker, that's for sure.
I'm not a snobby woodworker, but woodworking is probably my favorite thing to do. Though.
Yeah. Metal working, again, I'm not a metal worker, I just work with metal. And I like probably metal sculptures are my second favorite type, and then, you know, I don't know, yeah, stuff. Just as Kaden says, stuff.
Just making stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and then my favorite things, probably for Kaden, I probably like his cosplay type stuff. That's kind of cool. Although that's all I've seen really. And then for Clint's, probably more so the contracting stuff, because building a space to tell a story is so cool to me. And even like that farm place, not the farm place, what do you call it? The seed selling place?
Great training place.
Yeah.
Training, yeah.
Not the coolest build ever, but like with what you had to work with and like what their budget was and all those different restraints, you made a pretty cool spot.
Still to try and bring a little bit of that farm kind of barn atmosphere, right?
Yeah, it's awesome because it's not like it's an office building, but it's got flavor to it. It's not like, oh, nice white ceilings made out of cheese board. Oh, excellent. Everyone has a computer with a cubicle. No, it's like, I mean, there are cubicles, but like it all looks cool.
Yeah, the whole place is starting to evolve into more of looking like a farm kind of things you would see on a farm, I guess.
Yeah. So I think I like those types of projects the most. Although I appreciate everything that you make, I think so far.
Well, any of the theme kind of projects, right? Those are pretty fun.
And then Michael asked an important question. Will this change your thought about pulling down the shop someday and building another one? If I remember correctly, its current form was planned to be only temporary. That is still the plan. Maybe some people, well, I know for sure some people thought I was putting too much work into something that I planned to tear down. I like to work in a place that is bitchin'. I like to have like, I like it when you're like go into a place and you're like, wow, this is cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, just because it's mine.
It has to be inspiring, right?
Yeah, exactly. I want it to be like, I don't know. There's like so many people's shops. I mean, it's up to them how they do their own shops. But like even people I watch on YouTube, I'm just like, ugh, so bland.
Right.
So like it's only wood tools and that's it. There's nothing on the walls and it's just like, which I mean, there's dust and there's this, there's that. There's reasons why people wouldn't outfit their shops the way I would. But this is my shop. This is our shop. I do what the heck I want because it's mine. And I like to have art on the wall and I like to, you know, whatever. If it needs to be dusted, it needs to be dusted.
So in my dream shop, I hope to have one day, I'd like to have all the walls probably all wainscoted because I love wainscoting. And
yeah.
Just like someone to come in and your shop looks like a gentleman's club and you got a fireplace over in the corner and a bunch of, you know, framed guitars on the wall and kind of that. I don't know, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are all the questions from Patreon. Why don't we answer a few questions from you guys? So if you guys have a question, we'll stay on for, what time is it? How long have we been on here? 49 minutes?
8.
How long do you want to go?
I'm okay with whatever.
Okay, so we'll see how it goes.
Until this beer is done.
This person says, how about the good, the bad, and the bitchin', LOL. By the way, guys, bitchin' is considered a curse word on YouTube, so my video will be demonetized. So if you're going to curse and you're not being a dick, just censor the curse word, and then I won't be demonetized.
Yeah. That's funny.
Best way to do that, because that comment is hilarious, but it was deleted by our moderator because I will get demonetized,
What's the
basically.
good, bad, and bitching all about?
I think because I said I like it when it's bitching, and
Oh.
earlier we talked about
Yeah,
spaghetti
yeah.
westerns.
Oh yeah. Good, bad, and
Has Clint ever used agate or stone picks for your guitars, I guess?
No.
Do you even use picks for a bass?
I don't, so I'm definitely a fingers guy, and even when I play electric guitar or acoustic guitar, I'm pretty much solely yeah, is that the right word? Finger player.
Okay.
I
And you
just-
like jazz.
And I love jazz and country stuff, and so
Country's okay.
picking, and I took lessons in the summertime last year to learn how to do some country chicken picking
Wait,
stuff.
you've made guitars longer than you've known how to play?
No, I started playing when I was 15, and I started building guitars
Right.
in
Okay, you said
a
that.
few years later.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you took lessons. Now.
I took some lessons last year to try and learn a bit more country kind of style stuff, and he was trying to push me to use a pick, and I hate it.
Oh, okay.
Just can't play the pick.
Okay. Bootjack Clayshack asked, do you have a YouTube channel? Yes. Matthew, could you put a link to Clint's YouTube channel? It is called, what's it called again?
It's just under CK Carlton.
CK Carlton. And then she also asked, where is it?
I was kind of on a good roll for a while there. Josh got me into the YouTube thing, and a year and a half ago, I broke my foot, and that kind of just
Oh yeah, I
stopped
remember that.
everything,
How did
so-
you break your foot?
I was doing a concrete basement slab, and someone had taken the screws out of the top of the stairs, asked me to help them lift them, but they didn't tell me that they'd taken the screws out.
Oh.
So I stepped on the stair, and I rode the stairs down to the basement, and it blew my top of my foot out.
Okay, guys, if you
Pretty
don't know, when you frame a house, you put the basement stairs in, usually with screws, and then you put them on two stilts, basically
Right,
on the
2x4s
bottom.
from the ceiling.
Yeah.
So usually when someone says, "Hey, we'll lift the stairs so I can pour underneath them," means you'll undo from those screws from the 2x4 and lift the bottom.
Yeah.
Up. But he was planning on pulling the entire stairs out and didn't tell me, and so I hit the stairs,
Right.
rode down, and bust my foot. I ended up getting surgery, getting 2 screws in my foot, and then 6 months later had to get the screws out because they were too painful.
Oh.
And so yeah, so.
Yeah. So
I kind of stopped doing video for a while, so
if you're ever in, I don't know why you would, but if you're ever in a construction site and you happen to see a basement being poured and you see the stairs being lifted up or whatever, you'll know what that's all about, and that's how Clint broke his foot.
Yeah.
So yeah, normally you don't take the.
not normally.
And the reason why you put screws at the top, by the way, is because you adjust them once the pad is good, and you put them right into place, right exactly where you want, and then you usually nail the crap out of it
Yeah.
after.
Yeah.
Usually with 15 nails or more is the standard. That's you don't need to know that. That's just the thing.
Just in case you were wondering.
Let's see here. I saw some awesome guitar players on YouTube, and they had acrylic nails on one hand. Oh, that's classic guitar, right? Classical.
Probably, yeah.
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 Yeah, 'cause they-
flamenco players.
Yeah, they got That sounds so cool, but it
That's
looks
very
so ugly. Those
They're-
nails, dude.
Well, they're nails because they cut them actually flat, and they're like all picked so that you can
Yeah.
rake like that, right?
Dude, it looks dumb. Oh wow! Holy shit! Thank you so. Pardon me. Thank you, Delphina. To start your petty cash supply. What? To start your petty cash for supplies? For supply. To start your petty cash for supplies. Can I English or what? Wow, thank you. We actually have like this giant whiskey bottle that we'll put it
There
in.
you go. We'll fill that up.
Want to hand it up? we'll put it in here. We already have some pennies in there, but yeah, we'll stick it in there. Thank you very much.
And no, we did not drink that.
No, that came from actually Armando gave it to me. Here, let me get that out of the way. That's
Super cool.
yeah, and they shot it with a BB. We have 2 of these.
Nice.
Hold on. Keep asking your questions because I missed a bunch, and we'll try to get to them here, but I'll have to scroll a little bit here. Have your plans about the new shop changed at all with possibility or intention of sharing the space with others? I've always thought about sharing the shop with my brother, and he only mostly does photography in terms of making and art and stuff. So the plans for my new shop include a clean room, which will have like picture framing stuff. We have that kind of in here, but it's very crowded. We would like to have a nice carpeted table for glass to be laid down and stuff. You know, like you would see in a frame shop. So the new shop will have that, but the new shop will have an upstairs. These are dreams, of course. I like to refer to this as my daydream shop because this shop is pretty awesome. It's just not exactly what I want.
No,
And
as,
since I don't have
I've
it,
said to Josh, like you're not quite 30, right?
no.
To have a shop like this at 30 years old is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have my first like serious shop until 4 years ago when I moved into Drew and Julie's. I mean, I've had lots of little sheds and stuff like that, but not a full big shop full of tools, and that was life changing.
Yeah.
Because you could just build anything. Right?
Yeah. Well, how I got into making is someone was selling a table saw, a router table, and a bandsaw for $300.
Okay.
And I was like, I have room for that.
Yep.
And then I didn't use it for months.
Okay.
And then I was like, well, I have this table saw, so I can cut this, make a picture frame.
Yeah.
Okay, now I can do this. I don't even remember what the first thing is that I made. And then I got a little store with my brother. We started making stuff, you know, all sorts of different things that were easy to sell, like benches and, you know, welcome home things, you know, things that you see in every old lady's house, or like, you know what I mean, like, you know, like that aesthetic of stuff. Well, everyone has it, I guess. More so rustic decor. And then we, of course, made the stuff that we liked and were really proud of to put in there as well. And if I didn't have my shop, I probably wouldn't have done that. And I think that, like, even with Kaden and stuff, being so young and having like all this stuff to work with, I think that's so cool. So the plan is to always have people being able to use the space if they need it.
Yeah.
Because I think it's cool. When I had art shows, I'd have other artists that'd be like, hey, I don't know how to do this, let's figure out a blah blah blah, and I'd be like, come to my shop and we'll make it, or whatever the case is, and then we'll be able to whatever.
Yeah, I do the same with other friends sometimes.
Yeah.
They want to make something and it intrigues me, I'll jump on it with them. And yeah, kind of my dream would be, you know, Josh likes making more pieces of art, whereas I guess I like more functional things, I guess. Would that be?
Yeah,
right?
functional pieces, yeah.
Functional pieces, I guess, you know, like an instrument you can use or whatever. I appreciate the art, I love artwork.
Yeah, mine are just kind of static things.
So my thought would be,
They don't
like, it'd
do
be
anything.
super cool to have a group of us which this is evolving, right? We have different skill sets and actually get like a contract to make something for somebody, maybe not necessarily a piece of art, maybe it might be, and we all use our different talents to create that thing, because that's something pretty unique that you wouldn't find in a shop usually, right?
Right.
You know.
Now I'm open to making anything.
Yeah, totally.
As long as usually it has to be awesome.
Yeah.
I don't make too much practical things unless I can make it awesome. I recently just got a commission to make some things that I'm not excited to make, but I mean, it's money, so I'm like, okay, I'll make those, and they're quite easy. But like when it comes to practical things, I will make a table or a bench or something like that. But I usually want to add some flair to it. I want it to be like
It's a bench with your twist on it, right?
Right. Like I don't even know how to explain it. I want people to be like, yo, where did you get that?
Right.
Not,
It's not just a bench.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was commissioned, although it must have cost too much or something for them to go ahead with it. But we sat down for what you call it, a consult? I don't know. That sounds kind of pretentious. But anyway, these people wanted a dining table, and they said they wanted it to be sea inspired.
Oh.
So I was like, okay, well, I can make the wood out of driftwood.
Yeah.
So I'll go get some driftwood. I will mill it to be good for the tabletop. Just the top though.
Yeah.
Right? The underside would still be all
Oh,
gnarly and
driftwood,
stuff, but the
that's
top
very cool.
would be like nice and flat so they could use it.
Yeah.
Or flat enough anyway. And then I wanted the base, they wanted the base to be metal.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, well it would be cool if on one end there was an octopus holding up the table.
Yeah.
And then maybe the octopus is wrapped around a piece of like whatever, coral, something, whatever, that's like reaching up and holding up part of the table. And then maybe like a little shark, a baby shark is swimming around it. And then on the other side, holding up that side of the table is some other sea creature.
Yeah.
I was so excited to make this. And then they decided to not call me back. But one day, someone else is going to want a kitchen table, a dining table,
You
or
make
whatever,
something like that,
and I'm
yeah.
going to be like, hey, there's these other people who said they would want this sort of thing, and now I have this spot in my heart that's empty because I didn't make it yet.
I like also
neat.
that one.
What's that?
That you used.
Say again?
Oh, the one that you made at his youth, the
Oh,
dinosaur
yeah.
crate or whatever it is, right?
Okay, yeah. I have a video on that, the crate coffee table. Yeah, so what was the original question?
I don't even remember now.
I forget. But his youth group that he goes to was actually the same youth group that I used to go to years ago. And they asked me to make a coffee table. And first the idea was pretty lame. And I was like, they're like, we want like a crate coffee table. And I was like, well, crate coffee tables are kind of overdone. Everyone does them. They're neat, for sure. But I don't want to make it. How about this? I will make a crate coffee table that's a crate holding something. And then they're like, okay. I'm like, okay, I have this idea. How about it's holding dinosaur bones, as if it's one of the crates that's at the La Brea Tar Pits. And if you guys don't know what the La Brea Tar Pits is,
I
it's
don't
basically...
actually know.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Okay, it's like in Los Angeles, they have the La Brea Museum. I forget what it's called. La Brea is the area, I think. And anyways, there's these pits of tar. I don't know. It looks like oil, basically. And
Oh, La Brea of Tar Pits.
La Brea.
Is that what you said? Okay.
La Brea Tar Pits, yeah.
Tar Pits, interesting.
And anyways, they're digging out bones of like mammoths and tons of dire wolves and saber-toothed cats and all sorts of things. And next door is the, what's that museum called? It's the art museum or the art gallery, whatever, the LA art gallery. I don't know, it's huge. When they were building their underground parking, they, I explained this in the build video, by the way, guys. You can go and watch that. Anyway, there's they had their parking structure being built underground, and they were unearthing all these fossils. So the museum next door crated it all up. Actually, a fencing company crated it all up. I think it was a fencing company. I could be wrong. They crated it all up, and now they have all these crates of dirt and tar and bones or fossils that they need to process.
Right.
And I was like, it would be cool if this crate coffee table was a mini version of that.
How's that? Yeah. So that's what you made with the dinosaurs.
So that's what I made, and then I put a glass top on it. It's
and you
pretty
made
cool.
all the
It
the
looks
bones and.
Yeah, I put all the bones in there. Yeah, the bones are just made out of plywood, and then
Oh,
that's
yeah.
actually
Cool.
drywall mud that I had left over from a job.
Right.
That kind of makes up all the whatever, and then I spray painted it all, and then
Yeah, we were all
Yeah.
ripping on it.
That's pretty awesome.
I put sawdust in there to give it some texture, and then I painted it again. You know, I just did a whole bunch of different experimentation with it, and then
That's a cool piece.
then I dropped it off, and they loved it, and I was like sick. Took me a long time to do, But yeah, it took a long time because I kept not doing it. But yeah, I forget what the original question was, but hopefully that was more interesting than the answer you were looking for. Okay, let's see. Carl says Josh loves making practical items if they are dope. That is correct. La Brea tar pits, yes, that is it, Tracy. Question for Josh. You packed a metal rose last night. Are they available? Yes, they are, and they are $50. Which, can people buy stuff from you? If they look on your Instagram and you have something available?
Yeah.
But you don't make things, you don't take commissions necessarily.
I,
Or do you?
Well, I do. I'm trying to change the way I do things. I'm pretty busy. Most of my things. Josh does more of his artwork, and then you take on construction jobs when you have to.
Yeah. Or if it's a referral or someone calls me and
Right.
I like to keep the relationship going with my past clients.
Yeah. So at this moment, I still have 3 kids at home, so I have to do construction full time, and then the shop is my part-time gig.
Let's change that. Order from Clint at gmail.com.
We're trying to change that. Yeah.
Does Clint like your toe sculpture? I don't think he's seen it.
Toast sculpture?
There's a video on that as well. I don't have it in
We
here.
bugged Josh about some of the odd body parts that he has.
Yeah,
around
he
the
doesn't-
shop. Kate and I are not into severed body parts as much.
He doesn't like creepy stuff.
No, not into creepy stuff. No.
Someone says you should make a guitar harp.
Guitar harp. I actually had a friend that wanted me to build one,
Okay.
but he wanted me to build it for him for free, so that didn't happen.
Yeah. People often ask me to make stuff for them, and they expect it to be free, which I am willing to do.
Sometimes it's a cool trade involved.
Yeah, there's a trade, but like, man, people underestimate the amount of time that goes into
Totally.
something. And always be aware that handmade is almost always more expensive than store bought.
Yeah.
So if you're going to your buddy to make you a whatever, expect it to cost more than it does at Walmart.
Yeah.
Like
I can't build a $500 guitar. It's just not possible.
right.
My instruments start at like $2,500 for my cheapest ones, and up from there up to $4,000 or $5,000 and more. Right?
And that's like labor, that's materials.
Yeah, you're not getting rich off that. There's a
Yeah.
lot goes into it, a
Yeah.
lot of hours, right?
Yeah, so yeah, there's a
Yeah.
yeah. So a lot of people don't understand what goes into material. Like another thing, people think that if something is reclaimed, it should be cheap because that
Yeah.
stuff you didn't have to buy.
Right.
But reclaimed, actually, a lot of people do buy the reclaimed stuff. I'm lucky enough to get a lot of stuff for free, but I also go find it, or I put myself in a position where people will offer it to me because they don't want to throw it out, or they don't want to go through the hassle of selling it or whatever. Usually they don't want to throw it out because they don't want it to go to waste, and they know that I make stuff out of it. And since I make myself available to go get the type of stuff that I can make with.
Well, even on the job site now, every time I see something that I think
Hey, Kaden, could you just turn up the heat a little bit?
it's getting frosty in here. Yeah, if there's something laying around the job site that I know is going in the garbage, and I'm like, oh, we should take that to the art
Right.
trunk.
Yeah.
Because it might get used by one of us at some point, right?
Right, exactly. The trades get out of hand. XX does not equal XX in time and materials. Exactly.
Yes.
But if you're willing to if you agree on a trade, then usually it's fair to honor that sort of thing. But the thing is, people usually overestimate what they're offering.
It's tough. Like I've done a lot of trades with guitars, and it's not worked out well for me because it's so much time.
So much time.
Now, if somebody has a great trade, like Josh will probably need some concrete work down the road.
I'll trade you one of your guitars for that.
For some concrete work. Would I do a concrete job in trade for Josh to come in and do some mudding and taping at my place or something? That's a little easier kind of a trade.
Yeah, because that's labor for labor.
Yeah.
And I would definitely be helping you do my concrete pad
Right.
if you needed the help.
Exactly.
Those types of trades are a little different. I'm more willing to do those rather than make something for someone. Like if someone's buying art piece, and they're using that as a partial or wanting an art piece and they want that as a partial trade, that's more attractive because the art doesn't gain value if people don't buy it.
Right.
If you're always giving it away, it's not going to be worth anything. And as an artist, I want it to be worth billions. That's not going to happen because that's absurd. But you know, the goal is to make it worth more because I want to make my living off of this. And so far, I do okay. But like, I'm not rich.
Yeah.
How long has it taken us to do this shop? Because I have no money. I have enough money to live.
Sure.
But you know, what were you gonna say?
Well, I had to stop giving guitars away because I still do and probably will down the road. I get quite an enjoyment out of building something like an instrument and then just blessing somebody with it. You know, there's no strings attached. It's not a trade.
Zing.
It's just, you know, I just gave it to him, right? So.
Right, sure. Smurf M says reclaimed is even more because then you have to carefully process the materials into usable material again. Oftentimes, yes, 99% of the time you have to reprocess the material into something that you can actually use again. That's not always true, but yeah. My cousin was restoring his family home and had workers cleaning off the brick to use. People said he was too cheap to buy new brick. He just laughed.
Brick is super expensive.
Brick is not cheap at all. Yeah, no.
It's
Yeah.
crazy expensive.
Yeah.
Well, out here anyways in Alberta.
Yeah, here,
Like
yeah.
if you live in Ontario, you know, in Canada, brick's probably cheaper.
It could be. Here, yeah, it's mad expensive. No one has a brick house.
No.
The brick houses you see here are old as shit,
Yeah.
or they're just a brick facade. It just has
Right.
the you know, the little brick facade pieces.
Yeah.
And that's expensive too.
Yeah, even brick veneers, the little thin
Yeah.
stuff. It's like you can't afford to do a wall on that. That's
Yeah,
crazy
no, it's expensive. Yeah, it's very expensive. Story of my life. Everyone loves what you do until you have to pay for it. That's Mel from New Zealand. Yeah, that is true. People often get offended by what you're asking for, what you make and stuff, and that's life of an artist. People say artist, they laugh. Well, I don't know if laughing is accurate, but they scoff. If people ask me what do you do for a living, I'm like, it's easier to say contractor. That's more respectable.
Oh, do
If
some
I-
people not take you serious if you say artist? Because they automatically think, oh, you're a starving artist.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't you get a real job?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what
Right,
what
yeah.
the thought is. But then when they want to buy something, then they don't buy it.
I get
Because
kind of
it's
the
too
same
expensive.
with my guitars where people, I can say I build guitars, and until people see them, they just kind of think, oh, wow, I actually thought that was going to be like, you know, some backyard, put some 2x4s together and a string on it or something, and then they see them, they're like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Those are really nice. So-
Yeah, no, your guitars are awesome. I think I like them so much because I appreciate the different types of wood. I like trying to identify the different species.
Right.
Like maple has so many different.
Flame quilted and spalted and
Yeah,
bird's eye.
and-
Yeah,
yeah. There's so many.
So beautiful.
Or just
yeah.
clear.
I like
weight.
more organic kind of look on my instruments rather
Yeah.
than paint jobs.
It looks freaking cool. This person, Nancy, says, I made unique handicrafts for a charity fundraiser. A woman bought one and told me she was going to take it home and copy it. She had no qualms about telling me that. That is the worst thing you can say to an artist. One of the most annoying things is when someone says, I can make that. Okay. Yeah.
Now I did ask Josh's permission to copy his mustache and make a mustache.
Yeah, I wouldn't have cared.
Not that you
anyway.
cared, but I was
That
just like,
things like that. There's things where there's automatic license to copy, and then there's other things where it'd be nice if you asked.
yeah,
Right.
if I all of a sudden started making little, you know, metal art, little animals and sculptures and stuff like you make. I mean, that'd be kind of weird because it's your thing.
It might be weird, but to be fair, a lot of people make those types of sculptures. This person's making completely unique things. Like when someone says that they're going to steal your art, that's super shitty.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, thanks. Well, at least you bought one, I guess.
Especially if they actually tell you that they're going to.
Yeah. So saying that you can make that, well, now I've started saying, but could you sell it? If they say, I could make that, and then I'm just like, well, could you sell it? Because, like, I sell my stuff. This sounds so, like, I'm so... Did you hear that?
What?
Kaden just got
Kaden's making something.
another golf shot in.
Yeah, I heard it, yeah. That's funny.
I forget what I was saying.
You were going to say it sounds like...
Oh, I sound like I'm full of shit. But when people say those types of things to me, it's very frustrating because yeah, anyone can make those things that I make. I mean, if you know how, I guess.
It's different
but
if
like
you can come up with the idea, though.
True, but it's different to be able to sell it because there's more to it than just making it. Like there's a story behind it, and there's like I like my creativity being like a tool, and if I can make people happy about what I make, like that's so cool. When people are like, "Dude, you made that," or "You painted that," it's the worst when it's a painting.
Right.
When someone says, "Wow," it's when they'll look at a price and they'll be like, $2,000, that's not worth that. Now I've started asking, how much would you pay for it? And they're like, oh, so is it not worth that, or are you just not able to afford it? Which there's no shame in that because I can't afford my own paintings either, which is a good thing.
Right.
I want to not be able to.
And I started building guitars because I couldn't afford what I wanted.
Yeah. I'm blessed to be able to sell for what I do, and I hope to be able to sell for a lot more, which is a thing that, some artists who like to think of themselves as like purists, they think that selling art is taking away from actually what the meaning of art is. To me, that's not true because I enjoy making every piece of art that I make. If it's a painting, if it's a sculpture, if it's whatever, I'm like, yeah, I love this thing.
Yeah. Plus, there's a large part to what we do, whether it's construction or it's artwork or lutherie or whatever, where you're selling. Well, I don't want to say you're selling yourself, but you kind of, if people don't like you, and they don't like your personality or thing, like when I first met Josh, I was like, I like Josh, he's a cool guy. So that's even more intriguing rather than if he's just, if he was super arrogant but does cool artwork, I probably wouldn't have my shop here, right?
Right.
So it's the fact that if people like you and you're selling that a little bit, you're just being yourself, and hopefully people do like you. And and then that just goes along with what it is you do. You're creating a relationship with people as you go along, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that relationship often turns into other work.
Sure, exactly.
Right.
Chris here is saying he had a person steal his business name and trademarked it, so he couldn't use it anymore. And Chris makes some really high-end fishing lures. He hand carves each one, sands them all, cuts them all, like everything from a block of cedar or whatever what he happens to be using. Then he paints them all, and they're like $200, $300, $400 lures. Someone else took his name and trademarked it, and now I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming they knew about the quality of his baits, and now they are selling their own baits, which may or may not be of the same quality. But since Chris is known as making these sick ass baits, and now he can't sell them under his name, but someone else can, and they might assume that, like, oh, I know this name. Lure. I don't want to say the name because screw that guy.
Sure, yeah.
People will know that name means good quality bait. Like $200 for a freaking bait.
That's crazy.
I would never buy
awesome.
that because I'm not that into fishing.
Right.
But people who are,
Don't.
they're like, hey, I want to catch this freaking whatever marlin. I don't know what the heck. A bass? Well, you don't need a $200 bait to catch a bass. A bass will bite anything. But yeah, so they.
Well, that's why if you come up with a great name and maybe you did incorporate it, but
That's absolute trash that they did that.
That is
And
trash.
if by chance they did that by mistake, I've spoken to him. He's confronted them about it, and they're like, too bad, so sad.
In the guitar world, I mean, that happens where they won't necessarily steal your name, but if your instrument starts getting well known, overseas companies.
Oh, China for sure.
Yeah, they'll straight out put your logo on there and copy the instrument. And
It'll be the same except for in quality.
It looks the same, the quality's crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Kaden decides to sell his gun, he may please let me know, Josh. You have my name and email.
You saw your Mandalorian gun? Everything's for sale.
Oh, I'll get some pictures sent to you, and then you let me know, and yeah, I'll email you. Or actually, Delphina, so I don't forget, why don't you email me right now, and then I'll get back to you, okay? I'll send you some pictures and stuff. Chris, oh wait, sorry. Oh, another guy who makes lures. His lures are $1,200 that he sells for bass.
That's awesome. Oh.
$1,200. That's crazy because it's so easy to catch bass.
Well, again, I mean, it's crazy to us because that's not our thing. But,
Sure, absolutely.
But good on him that he can get that for his lures because
That's awesome.
Because there's people that are hardcore into fishing that will think nothing of spending that on.
You're
them,
like, oh,
right?
$1,200 steal. But like, you can catch a bass with like a fly. You can catch it with just a spinner. Like, you can catch it with a cork.
Yeah, but those same people that are buying those also have like $1,000 fly rods or more, right?
Sure, they do. Yeah.
Or whatever you're fishing.
Dude, my fishing rod was 75 cents, and it folds up,
Right.
or retracts. It wasn't 75 cents. It was $5, and it came with a clock radio. It didn't actually. I don't remember how much it was. I have a nicer fishing rod that was like $200, but I thought that was expensive.
Right.
People show me photos of other people's pieces and ask me to make them. I say order from the artist. I've also been asked to make Native American designs and tikis. Nope. So with cultural appropriation, I'm not too sensitive to those types of things, but that is more respectful to not do a culture's art. But it's kind of,
I don't know, if you weren't Haida, do you think it'd be bad to build like some Haida?
I mean, I wouldn't because you will get lynched for that. But Haida art is mad awesome.
I love Haida art.
It is my favorite.
Any of
native
us
art.
can try it. We're not going to do it as well as that.
Well, there's
Haida
like
arts, right?
spiritual meaning in a lot of the
right.
designs,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So there's that, and so when people are sensitive to that, I understand it. Me personally, I'm Cree. I don't care if non-Cree artists make Cree art, but I'm just that doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is if you're a racist. If you're a racist, then
Yeah.
screw off.
And that's the other cool thing about the shop is
No racism allowed.
all four of us in the shop are all Cree.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Métis. I don't look it much, but Kaden and I are Métis.
Dude, you look like a freaking Viking.
Viking Métis.
Do you guys think that him and Hans would get along? Do you know?
Who's Hans?
Oh, you don't know him. He's the guy who helped me do
Oh, I've
the.
seen pictures. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like his accent. Or does he have his accent, or his wife did? Does he have an accent?
He has a Hans voice.
Hans is like, was he Dutch or German or
I don't. He's like,
Hans?
I don't know. What is he, guys? I don't know.
I would think probably German, but, but who knows?
Anyways, she also says people show me photos of other people's pieces and ask me to make them. Yeah, reproducing other people's art. If it's like there's certain pieces of art that are like kind of free for all because so many people make them.
Yeah.
But if someone makes something and they're known for making that, and then you get a different artist to make that, that's usually people don't know that that's kind of a no-no. But that's kind of don't do that. Just get the actual artist who already made it to make you one, or buy whatever. You know what I mean?
Like I would never copy another like Luthier's guitar bass design. That being said, something like Fender is wide open. They never put patents on their guitar designs.
No. So
No.
do
So
they
I can
encourage
build-
people to make
I
their
don't know
own?
that
or-
they encourage, but they're so big they just don't really care. If some little guy like me is making a living off of making Telecasters, I don't think they care. You know. Now Gibson, if you copy their headstock, they will sue your ass off.
Yeah. In fact, even in art, you can't paint their logo, like their you know how
Right.
they have the Gibson.
Sure.
So some artists that I know, like this one in particular, who paints a lot of rock stars and stuff, he just makes it a completely different
Yeah.
whatever. He just recently released a painting, and same with me. Like I mean, I've painted some, but instead of putting in the brand name or whatever, I'll just put like My Hands Gallery or Joshua Alexander. I'll just put something else.
Yeah.
Cindy L, thank you very much. She said this was fun. I gotta go. Thank you as usual. Maybe we'll answer a couple more questions.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Hans is Danish. His father came from Denmark. Oh,
okay. There we go. That makes sense.
Emily says, "Oh my goodness, Clint does not know Hans. LOL. Yeah, you gotta meet." So
Meet Hans.
yeah, so if he comes by here again, I mean, he doesn't come here for no reason, right?
Right.
He just came here because I hired him to do the.
To do the yeah.
To
To
do
go
that.
right into him somewhere. Is he from Mounts First Grove?
He lives in Whistle.
Oh, yeah, Whistle. Okay.
Yeah. It's a catch-22. Artists are worth their asking price, but usually it's not one I can afford. Right.
It's true.
Some artists, though, are willing to go down in prices. Like, all depends on how you ask. And it also depends on how you, like, an artist can usually tell if you appreciate something, and they can tell if you're, I mean, it just depends. I'll give an example. Like, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say it depends on how you market it, and we've talked about that, right? Because there's, you know, when I used to do concrete, I realized that there were some customers that literally wanted to be able to brag to their neighbors that, yeah, I paid 20 grand for my stamped driveway. Would you pay, right?
Oh, they wanted to pay more.
They want, right? And I was like, well, that's fine. Yeah, you can pay me
You
more.
can tell them that it costs 30 grand if you give me an extra 10.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, and as far as like, you know, me selling maybe like my instruments, you know, I kept trying to market to guys that were working musicians playing in bars and stuff. Well, they're broke. They don't have any money to buy
Right.
instruments, right? They want a $500 or $600 instrument or free.
Right.
So, you know, my market plan for that now is to market more towards collectors and stuff. People
Yeah.
just like, you just want to hang it on your wall and you want a nice piece of artwork, and you might or might not play it. I don't actually care.
Because they are artwork. Like,
Right.
let's just grab one off.
Sure.
Why don't I just grab this one?
Back of that one's super cool.
So this one, here, why don't you tell everyone about it?
So this one's got like over 50 different laminations. So not 50 different pieces of wood, but, you know, laminated, you know. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different pieces just on the side.
Right, and then there's...
And then you got the back, and then the neck is just a whole bunch of different pieces. The fingerboard, like each one of these pieces was a piece of walnut that I drilled in and then drilled it out again and put a piece of maple in.
Right, so the
there's a
actual
lot of work.
fretboard is maple,
Yeah,
walnut, and then maple inside. What is this?
Paduke.
Paduke.
So
Ugh.
we got
I
Paduke.
hate Paduke, but that looks awesome.
Yeah, and then this is walnut, and then
Maple on the back.
quilted maple, some flame maple. Yeah, so there's a lot goes into it.
And this one is obviously not complete yet. In fact,
No.
it actually looks like you started sanding off the finish. And then you're going to refinish it? Or what?
This one was one of the ones that the neck is a little bit.
Oh, this
I'm
got
gonna
ruined.
check it out. Yeah, I might be.
Part of the reason why he moved here is...
I might be redoing this one, so it's unfortunate. But.
Yeah.
And the first one of this instrument I sent to a friend down in South or North Carolina. I can't remember where he's at. The neck actually warped on it, coming from our crazy cold weather here down to humid.
Oh, yeah, that sucks.
So learning about that kind of stuff it's pretty expensive.
Yeah, I imagine. I was gonna say, here, let me turn it back to you. I was gonna mention a story. I forget what the original question was, but I remember what my story was. There was a girl who wanted to buy one of my skateboards that I paint on retired skate decks, and I had this one. I think I sold it since because I don't see it here. Yeah. Anyways, I had this one that was of Biggie Smalls, and I was selling it for like $150 or something like that. And this is what she said. She comes up to me. She's like, I like this piece. I don't think it's worth $150. And I was like, well, I'm obviously not going to sell it to you then. I said that to myself. And then she's like, how about 50? And I was like, no. And then I just basically just took it out of her hand and then I put it back. She's like, you're not even gonna give me a counter offer? And I was like, no. And then she's like, oh, okay. So when that type of stuff happens to like you guys as artists, I wish I remembered what the question was. When that happens, man, you gotta. Oh yeah, you can. Okay, I remember what it was. But when that happens, you should just say no. It's not worth the sale, even if it's still a profit.
I'm sorry, you aren't in a, or, that
you don't get to buy it.
That you can't afford to buy, or this is out of your price range. I'm sorry, but that doesn't mean that we need to bring our price down to match what you can afford.
True, but she could have afforded it, I am sure. She just didn't want to.
Right.
But like that's not a way to negotiate. I don't think it's worth this. What are you talking about? So oftentimes, if you are willing to negotiate, you just got to pick your people, because there's people who, like I had this It clown painting where it's the old It clown Pennywise, the classic, and the new one, and they're like the old one is handing the balloon off to the new one. Okay, and I was selling it for $2,000, and this kid wanted it, and I could tell, like, I don't know how old he was. He was like 20 years old. Okay. He wanted it badly, and he kept coming to look at it, and I was like, I'll tell you what, I'll give it to you for 15. He leaves and immediately comes back with $1,500. I was willing to give it to him for $500 cheaper because he wasn't being like, I don't think it's worth $2,000. He didn't even say anything.
He just really wanted it.
He just really wanted it.
In his price range.
Yeah, he was right. $1,500 for. I would never spend that on a. Well, I might spend that on a painting, but I would have to really like it.
Right.
So if an artist did that for me, for a painting or a picture or whatever it might be, did that, I would be so grateful. I wouldn't be like, I got this for only this much, sucker. Which this one girl was trying to do, which I thought was so disrespectful. I don't understand that. So as an artist, stand behind your projects, and I mean, if you're willing to go down in price, have it on your terms, not on someone else's terms. That's how I go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have prints of that clown? I don't, but I do have that dude's phone number, and I've been tempted to text him and be like, hey, I'm the artist who did that painting. Can I get it back so I can scan it?
You don't have any pictures of it?
I have a picture of it, but it's not a high quality scan, so the prints wouldn't come out nice. Disrespectful. Would you bargain with your doctor or grocer? Grocer. Grocery store. I know what a I don't know how to say the word, but I know what it means.
Grocer.
The grocery store, funny enough, you can negotiate with freaking produce. What's the vegetables?
Oh yeah, if you go like fresh produce places, right? You can
negotiate on
like
those.
Farmers market.
But usually you're going to be buying a lot, and it's going to be worth it for them to give you a discount. But we don't pay for healthcare here. But I understand that you don't want to get the cheaper doctor, right?
No.
I mean, obviously we pay for healthcare through our taxes, but like we just go to the doctor, right? And it's the same all the time. You just see the doctor and you get whatever you need, and then you leave, whatever. Yeah. But I know exactly what you're saying. You're not a mass manufacturer with. What the heck? You're an artist. No respect. This isn't a garage sale or dollar store.
Right.
Right, exactly. Is your jacket for sale, Josh? No, I need it. But it is pretty cool, right?
It is cool, yeah.
My in-laws made this for me. My mother-in-law, well, they bought a jacket for me for Christmas. It was too small, so I returned it and got this jacket instead, which is different than the one and then I had this patch from one of the failed hats that I hated that I got that company to make
It's
months.
not as yellow as it looks.
Yeah, it's more goldy, but it kind of looks
Well,
pretty yellow.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it, on the video?
Wow, that looks super
I
yellow.
never thought about that. It's not, yeah,
It's more like a muted gold.
goldy mustard kind of.
Yeah.
Or
That's
mustard.
for sure.
But anyway, my mother-in-law then sewed this on.
Cool.
It's pretty cool. I forget what the question was, so we'll just skip to another one. Sorry about that.
It was about your jacket.
Oh yeah. What does the patch say? The patch says Ushitat, it means maker, established 2016, reclaim, upcycle, kick ass.
Wait, does that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's go with one more good question and then we'll head off here. You good with that?
Yeah, it's cold in here.
It is getting cold in here, yeah.
It's good old Alberta. It's probably, I don't know what it is, minus 20, minus 25 outside or something. Or
With the wind chill, it's probably minus 25.
yeah, it's nasty out.
Okay, here's one. This I don't think we should end on this question, but how many hours do you think we're in that guitar? In that bass?
On average, I'm probably about 40 hours into an instrument. That one, probably a bit more. I don't know. I don't
Is that work time or that's overall time?
No, that's probably straight work. Well, it's hard to say. I mean, I have a couple instruments that I've tracked the time that I can actually build it from start to finish.
Uh-huh.
But most of the custom ones like that, because I'm in and out of the shop all the time and I'm off doing construction jobs and in the shop, it's pretty hard to. But there's probably 40 hours in on it, at least.
I'm not seeing any closing questions, so maybe we'll just close on that. I was just gonna say, people might not understand, but like all those laminations, like each section has to be glued and then reprocessed to a flat edge to then glue onto the other thing that's been glued, and then the next piece has to be
Sandwiching
glued,
pieces together,
and
then you
then-
gotta cut it all out.
and then do you cut out the shape after?
I cut out the wings first, and then the neck is a separate piece all by itself.
Right. Okay, I can see that now. Now I
There's
can
a
see it.
truss rod inside of that, and then you glue the fingerboard on, and then you glue the wings on after they're already sanded and carved, and then you gotta carve the neck by hand and.
Oh, you do that all by hand?
Oh, everything, yeah. Well, the sides I
You don't
cut like with
cut them.
templates on my, I make the template out of MDF, and then I cut that out on my router.
Oh, okay. So you make the template,
Yeah,
then you use a router.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's like pretty precise.
But
Like
the necks all, I used to cut them all like with the bandsaw and spend hours sanding. It's stupid. It's
Yeah.
like now I can just make a template and
yeah, it
cut
is.
it out, and it's perfect. It's
If you're gonna
clean.
make one guitar, then
I
it's
still
okay.
even do a template. It's just clean.
Yeah, sure,
You know.
absolutely.
And
If
there's
I were to
always-
make a guitar, maybe one day, maybe that'll be a collab one day. Maybe we'll make a guitar together.
Maybe make a guitar. Yeah.
It won't be as good as these because
You never know.
it'll be pretty crunchy compared to yours.
I have a friend in town that's a woodworker. But everything he does is amazing. I always bug him. I was like, please don't start building guitars because they'll just probably be better
Who's
than mine.
that?
Lyle.
Okay, guys. Well, I'm just gonna do a quick shop walk around to end. We're not gonna do that today, but we will do once we have the shop. Like we have the shop operational, everything works and stuff, but we haven't figured out workflow just yet. So once we have everything kind of like good, we'll do a shop tour video. But make sure that you are keeping up with the vlogs because there will be a lot more building and stuff going on in here.
Yeah, hopefully.
And even on Instagram and stuff, so you'll be able to see stuff. I think maybe he gave me one of the stop signs. That one right there.
Oh, cool.
Or was it that one? He gave me the brand new one.
Nice.
I think that's it. And yeah, it's that one. And yeah, so maybe he just wants to see that. I don't know. It's right there. It's right there, Dave. So guys, if you liked this format, this type of video, and you would like to see it again, make sure that you say it in the comments. Maybe not in these comments because they're gonna disappear here in a second. But oh, you're talking to someone else. Sorry. Oh, Boot Jack Clay Shack. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Sorry, my ADD is terrible. If you like these type of videos and you would like to see more, thumbs up the video or do whatever that is, and then maybe we'll do this every so often. Are you trying to see yourself?
No.
No.
Oh, you're reading the comments. If you want, if you would like, and if you don't like it, then don't say anything.
Yeah, they're saying it.
I don't know how often we would do it, but we'll definitely do it.
Yeah,
some
who
more.
knows, and what we might talk on or something. We'll pick a...
Yeah, we might have to come up with a name for the show.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll call like pull up a lawn chair because we're sitting in lawn chairs. Like,
Yeah,
look at
there
this
you go.
chair, guys. It's crazy.
Old school.
I got this from one of the pics I went on with Alex. Some of you guys will remember that. So guys, this is awkward. Thank you for hanging out. Really appreciate it. We'll see you guys. Well, you'll see us next time.
Yeah.
And, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
See you later. Okay. That's pretty fun.